Every day, millions of people wake up saying, "Today will be different." But by evening, they find themselves trapped in the same cycle. Snacking when they're not hungry, scrolling when they should be sleeping, skipping the workout again. And the worst part? They know better. They know it's not helping them. So why does it keep happening? If you've ever felt stuck in a loop, repeating bad habits you desperately want to break, you're not alone. In today's video, Psychology Bank is diving into the psychology of 5, why we repeat harmful behaviors even when we consciously know they're bad for us, and how to finally start breaking the cycle. The brain's addiction to patterns. The human brain is a creature of habit. It craves structure, rhythm, predictability, even if that structure is slowly harming us. From a survival standpoint, this makes sense. Imagine having to think critically about every decision you make: how to tie your shoes, how to brush your teeth, how to walk or chew. You'd be mentally exhausted before breakfast. That's why the brain automates behavior through something called habit formation. When you repeat an action, good or bad, your brain builds a neural pathway to make that action easier and more automatic over time. Think of it like this. The first time you walk through tall grass, it's slow and difficult. But if you walk the same path every day, eventually, the grass parts, a trail forms, and pretty soon, it's the only path your brain wants to take. This is why old habits die hard, because they've literally carved grooves in your neural network. 2. The dopamine trap. Many bad habits don't feel bad in the moment. That's because they often involve an instant reward. Here's the science. When you do something pleasurable, like eating sugar, checking your phone, or even procrastinating with Netflix, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter that plays a key role in the brain's reward system. Dopamine isn't just a pleasure chemical. It's also about motivation. It tells your brain, "That was good. Let's do it again." And the problem? The brain can't tell the difference between what's pleasant and what's healthy. So whether it's smoking, scrolling, or overeating, if it gives you a short-term dopamine spike, your brain labels it as worth repeating. Over time, the brain starts to crave that quick fix. And that's how bad habits become addictive, even if they don't involve substances. 3. Trigger, routine, reward. The habit loop. Psychologists often explain habits using a 3-part model: cue, routine, and reward. This is known as the habit loop, a concept popularized by Charles Duhigg. Here's how it works. The cue is the trigger. It could be a feeling, like stress, a time of day, a person, or even a smell. The routine is the behavior itself: scrolling, snacking, avoiding tasks. The reward is what your brain gets out of it: relief, distraction, pleasure. For example, you feel anxious, cue. You eat chips, routine. You feel temporarily soothed, reward. Boom. Habit reinforced. And the kicker? Your brain remembers the cue most of all. So next time you feel anxious, it doesn't ask, "How should we cope?" It says, "Chips, please." The loop tightens and the behavior becomes more automatic, often happening before you even realize it. 4. Why self-control often fails. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Willpower is not a reliable long-term strategy. That's because the part of your brain responsible for logic and self-control, the prefrontal cortex, is in a constant battle with the basal ganglia, the region responsible for habit and routine. Your logical mind may say, "I want to wake up early and exercise," but your habitual brain says, "Snooze button, equals safety, equals comfort." Over time, especially when you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, your brain defaults to efficiency, and that usually means falling back on old habits. So when people say, I know better, but I still do it. It's not about weakness. It's about which part of the brain is in control at the moment. And unfortunately, the rational mind doesn't always win. 5. Emotional triggers and subconscious drives. Many bad habits aren't just responses to boredom. They're attempts to regulate emotion. We don't just reach for our phones because we're bored. We do it to escape discomfort. We don't overeat just because we're hungry. We do it to fill emotional gaps. This is called emotional self-regulation, and when we haven't developed healthy coping strategies, the brain latches onto whatever provides quick relief, even if it's harmful in the long run. The worst part? These emotional habits often form in childhood, reinforced by years of repetition. By the time we're adults, they feel like part of our identity. 6. How to break the cycle. So how do you actually change? The answer isn't just stop doing it. It's to understand the habit loop and then rewrite it. Here's how. 1. Identify the cue. What triggers the habit? A feeling, a person, a place, a time? 2. Change the routine. Replace the bad behavior with something better. Not perfect, just better. 3. Keep the reward. If your brain wants comfort or distraction, give it, but in a healthier form. Try journaling, walking, or deep breathing. Remember, you're not deleting a habit, you're replacing it. Start small. Track your triggers, and give yourself time. Neural pathways can be rewired, but only through consistent repetition. Bad habits aren't about laziness, they're about patterns, and patterns can be broken, not by force but by awareness and design. If you've been stuck in the same cycles, remember, you're not broken, you're human, and your brain is just doing what it was designed to do: protect you, comfort you, keep you safe. But now you have a choice: to build new loops, to become conscious of what was once automatic, and to take back control, one tiny step at a time. If this video resonated with you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. And in the comments, tell us, what's one bad habit you're ready to let go of? And what will you replace it with? Thanks for watching Psychology Bank. See you in the next one.